Oh.
Hey, Brandon, good to see you.
You too, John.
A lot of us, I think, envisioned potentially cornerback being in the mix today, especially the way the board was falling. Why not go that direction? And from your seat, what does that say about what you have on the roster?
Yeah, I mean, it's not as much about the roster as it is, what we try to do prior to the draft is just set us up to take the best player on our board. And that's what we've done. Obviously we took Rousseau last night. You're not anticipating taking another pass rusher, but Carlos was the best player on our board. And so we followed that. And, again, you can never have enough pass rushers. And so we just felt the value was too good to pass up, and we're excited to get him. So, yeah, I mean, you'd love to sit here and say, I'm going to fill this need, each spot along the way, but you don't pass up good players to drop down to handle a need.
Thanks, Brandon.
Yep.
Hey, Brandon, Sal here. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on so late again.
You got it, Sal.
I want to go back to and revisit what you just said. Can never have too many pass rushers. You do have 9 defensive ends though on the roster right now, even before the draft is over, undrafted free agency. How is this going to shake out basically? There's a lot of guys who young guys that, you've invested some picks in here, a guy you signed obviously in free agency, and you still have a couple of starters that are under contract as well that have been with you for a while.
Yeah. I mean, competition, that's what we bring. We just, again, we tried to set ourselves up to say, we don't have to go, we're not short at any position that we've got to get it in round 2, round 3, whatever. And so, again, who knows? I'm not saying we're hoping to add another pass rusher, but if there's a guy you just take good players and the rest of that will handle itself. Injuries happen. There's all sorts of things that can happen between now and when we start the season in September. So that stuff will shake itself out. We like the front that we have, and we think it's going to bring out the best in everybody, great competition. And like I said, we're a long way from, the regular season starting.
Thanks, Brandon.
You got it.
Brandon, John Worrell, how you doing?
Hey, John Worrell.
Just wondering, just because you talked last week in the pre-draft call about how you were struck by what Tampa Bay did to Patrick Mahomes. How much did that carry through into this draft, seeing how you upgraded the pass rush, knowing you wanted to anyways, with Jerry Hughes and Mario getting a little bit older?
Yeah, I mean, again, I had hoped to find a pass rusher at some point in the draft. It worked out last night with Rousseau. And then again, Basham was clearly sticking out, and we just, again, the value was too good to pass up. And so we decided to select him. But yeah, I mean, Tampa did a heck of a job against Kansas City in that game, and really did a nice job of making Mahomes move off his spot. And, that was probably as big a difference as anything in the outcome of the game. And we wanted to definitely get better there this offseason. And I think we've added to the competition. We're going to have some really good veterans coming back. Obviously, it was mentioned Jerry and Mario. And then, we've got some youth in here. So it should be fun come August when camp gets started.
And how much does it help that Basham has also played inside as well, much like Rousseau, did in his 1 year?
Yeah, I mean, we love versatility here. We talk about on the O-line or receivers that can play multiple spots. So the same thing here. Both Basham and Rousseau can play outside. They're probably both for position 1, left defensive end, position 2 come inside. Both of them have had production, rushing inside. So it's not sometimes you project it, John, but these guys have done it. And, I know, like I said, last night, Rousseau, I think, had 15 and a half sacks, a lot of those from the inside. Basham, he had 5 sacks in 7 games this year, and, 10 or 11 a year ago. And some of that production was from the inside. So we like what that will give Leslie Frazier and Eric Washington, how they can mix things up.
Thanks, Brandon.
You got it, John.
Brandon Beane, Mookie Hawkins, 1-4 Sports 1080. How you doing today, sir?
Good to see you again, Mookie.
Hey, man, we all know that this game is won up front, and it seemed like y'all doing a good job in addressing that. Now, the more the merrier, and we know you love competition. How important was it for you just to stay true to your board this time around? And tell us a little bit about Spencer Brown, because I was high on that guy, and y'all went and nabbed him in the third round. So tell us a little bit about him as well.
Yeah, Spencer, very tall young man for the position, but played at Northern Iowa. Played mainly right tackle. We think he can be a swing tackle, right or left. Obviously, we got some starters in there, in Dion and Darryl, but come in, compete, and be a backup year one, and we'll see from there. Their team, didn't have a season this year, and he had an opportunity to go play, at bigger schools, maybe even Iowa, but just said if his teammates couldn't play, he wasn't going to play. And but he went and trained with Joe Staley. He didn't just sit at home. He hired an agent and worked with him all through the fall, got himself ready. And the thing I admired was some guys got invited to the Senior Bowl that didn't play this year and didn't want to do it. They turned down the invitation. And that was a little bit of caution for me. Spencer, even though he didn't play, he took the opportunity and, he met the competition. Like he played really well, and he caught our eye at the Senior Bowl as this wasn't too big for him. And like I said, we were happy that he was still around at our pick.
Absolutely. And I see that you are staying true to your board, basically taking the best player available. Here it is, day 3 around. This is a day where you really do some good stealing, but you don't have that 4th round pick. But I'm expecting, some good splashes, a little drizzle for you tomorrow. But, good luck tomorrow, man. I can't wait to see what's next.
Appreciate that. Thanks, Boogie.
Hey, Brandon, I know you told us a couple months ago, or maybe weeks ago, time is made up, but that you're happy with the corners that you have on your roster in Levi and Dane Jackson. But with the players who were available on the board these past 2 rounds, was there ever a moment where you felt like taking a cornerback, or you felt like that was a realistic possibility here?
There were some good corners on the board, but the guys that we had, high values on, they got taken, before we picked each time. So it's a matter of where you are on the board and what the value is. And at each pick, the better player was, in our opinion, was the 2 D linemen we took, and then here taking Spencer. So we just, again, you want to be strong up front. It's a big man's game. Dave Gettleman once told me big men allow you to compete, and I agree with it. And so we just, Spencer is another protection for our quarterback, and it's important to keep Josh upright. And again, we want to protect our guy, and then we want to get after the other team's quarterback. And listen, we still got more picks. We'll see what happens. Maybe there's, a corner that falls in our lap there. And again, it's a long time until we play in September. So, teams there's going to be more corners out there between now and August and again in September. So we got a lot of time before we play the first regular season game.
Gotcha. Appreciate you, Brandon.
You got it, Marcel.
Hey, Brandon, it's Jay with the Buffalo News. With Spencer, is he strictly a tackle in your mind right now, or does he have any ability to move inside?
I think for me right now, he'd just be a swing tackle and not necessarily a guard. It gets hard when when as tall as he is, but he's smart enough to do it. It's not that we wouldn't rep him in there, but we do like to have our guys do it just in case on game day something happens. If you only got so many linemen up, but I think his main spots will be left and right tackle.
And with tackle, you guys had Trey Adams retire. I don't know if maybe that was a bit unexpected, but did that alter your outlook at that position going into the draft at all?
Not really. Trey didn't make the team last year. He was on the practice squad all year. So we were bringing him back to compete and see if he could improve enough to make our 53. So when you got a guy that has never played a down in the league, it's not like we were overly counting on him. We still said this young man, we hope he improves and makes a step, but no, we definitely hope to add competition either before the draft, in the draft, and even after the draft.
Thanks, Brandon.
You got it.
Hey, Brandon. you guys add Boogie Basham. You talked about how he was sticking out on your board. I'm curious how much activity was there tonight on the phones as compared to yesterday, and was he somebody that you saw early on in the second round that you guys were following kind of similarly to Gregory?
Yeah, he was there for a while and kept thinking he was going to get picked. And we had a trade completed, deal agreed to with an NFC club. But basically, we told him if one player was there, which was Basham, that we weren't going to do the deal. They were trying to trade up. We got the deal done about 3 picks away, and we just said, listen, if our guy's there, we're not going to do the deal. But yeah, it would have moved us back into the third round, and then added some other picks. So we felt like we were in a good spot. We would have loved to have added another pick. I thought it was going to be a good trade for us, but again, I subscribe to the theory you can't have enough pass rushers.
Thanks a lot, Brandon.
You got it.
Hey, Brandon. I remember you said last week, and this kind of stood out to me, that there is a little bit of a drop off in this class with kind of the extra guys who were able to come back being in the, and kind of saturating this. And I'm wondering, just from seeing how the first 3 rounds have played out, are there any positions where, we're going to see that drop off happen, or any positions that still have a lot of value, at least in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, without giving away too much, the premium positions are getting thin. Tackle being one of them. Corners, there's been several runs on those. I still think there's a decent amount of receivers, and there's still some ends as well. Not that we're going to try and add another one necessarily, but I do think there's still some depth hanging around. I wish I had a 4th round pick, but I don't. So we'll have to be patient. We do have the 2 5s. So hopefully some guys that we're still really excited about, once the end of the 4th round tomorrow.
Cool. Thanks.
Thanks, Matt.
All right. That was the last question. Thanks, Beane.
Okay. Thank you, guys.